Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trading Post. It's me, Fred, and this here's Noodle. And tell Noodle what we're going to do. This is Episode 4, Badasses, Bass Reeves, that we're going to be doing here, right? Hey everybody, like I said in the introduction, this here's Badasses, Episode 4, Bass Reeves. Y'all's going to like this one. It's a good story, man. It's amazing what people do when you hear of their life accomplishments. It kind of makes you feel like like you're not doing nothing with your life when you see these kind of things, because these people are amazing. Like they're like next level, But yeah, I really like this one in particular. I mean, not that I didn't like the other ones, because they're all amazing, but this one stands out because this dude really is a badass. All right, so let's just dive into this. Okay, it may not be very long. I don't know. I got about 4 or 5, half a dozen pages of notes here, so I'm hoping probably maybe a half an hour long. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. When you got the information, I'm getting it out here to you. You know what I mean? But okay, let's just start this. Bass Reeves, born July 1838. His lifespan, July 1838 to January 12th, 1910. He was a runaway slave, gunfighter, farmer, scout, tracker, railroad agent, and deputy U.S. Marshal. He spoke the languages of several Native American tribes, including Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, Seminole, and Creek. Bass was one of the first African American deputy U.S. Marshals west of the Mississippi River, mostly working in the deadly Indian Territory. The region was saturated with horse thieves, cattle rustlers, gunslingers, bandits, bootleggers, swindlers, and murderers. Reeves made up to 4,000 arrests in his lifetime, killing 20 men in the line of duty. So think about that. Think about this. I don't know if you're a co-op or something like that right now, modern day. Let me know. What is the average? I don't know what the average amount of arrests are throughout someone's career. I mean, it may be higher now because you got cars and stuff like that, Like back then it was, you was a cowboy, you know what I mean? You're riding a horse. You ain't getting places as fast. So the comparative on that is kind of I don't know. I think it'd be hard to try to make an assumption as to what's what. But if you know roughly what it is now, like I should just Google it, which I probably will. But anyways, that's what he had. He had 4,000 arrests in his lifetime, and he killed 20 men in the line of duty, which means he had to fire his weapon. Probably more than that, but he killed 20 men. So all right, his stats are: he was born July 1838 in Crawford County, Arkansas, United States. He died January 12th in 1910. He was aged 71 years old in Muskogee, Oklahoma, in America. Now, his occupations was farmer, rancher, railroad agent, tracker, scout, interpreter, and deputy U.S. Marshal and policeman. Now, his years he was active was 35 years as a law enforcement officer. That's amazing. Wow. This dude was 35 years active? That's crazy. That's a long time. He loved his freaking job, man. He had to have. And like I said, he was known for 4,000 arrests, as we said prior. His height was 6'2" or 1.88 meters, and that was at the age of 30. Okay. His opponents was Jim Webb, Wiley Bear, John Bruner, Frank Buck, Ned Christie, and Belle Starr. His spouses was Jenny Haynes. He married in 1864 and she died in 1896. And his other spouse was Winnie Sumter. He married in 1900. He had 11 children. Holy shit. Pardon my French. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of kids, man. I get it. Like back then, you had to work the farm, you had to work the land. It was frontier days, you know what I mean? Like it was a whole different world than what it is today. You didn't just go down to the grocery store and go get you a pack of bacon, you know what I mean? No. You had to raise the pig. You had to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go into detail with that because we all know what that entails. But anyhow, now his police career. His country was the United States. His branch was Deputy U.S. Marshal, and his service years was 1875 to 1910. Okay? Now, his rank was deputy, and the other work he did was he was a Muskogee Police Department police officer. Okay? Now, Reeves was born into slavery in Crawford County, Arkansas, as said prior. His family were slaves belonging to Arkansas State Legislator William Steele Reeves. During the American Civil War, his owners fought for the Confederacy. At some point, Reeves escaped and fled to Indian Territory, where he learned American Indian languages and customs, as well as tracking and survival skills. That's awesome. Dude, that'd be so cool. This dude's my hero, man. But he eventually became a farmer and rancher. By 1875, Reeves was hired as a deputy U.S. Marshal along with other individuals. He was 37 years old at the time, and Reeves was well acquainted with the Indian Territory and served there for over 32 years as a peace officer, covering over 75,000 square miles in what is now Oklahoma. My mind is blown, dude. 75,000. I can't even grasp that. 75,000 square miles. Let's just put this in perspective. Probably, I don't know. I'm just going to guesstimate, and this isn't facts, okay? You can look it up, figure it out if you want. I'm just saying that maybe, what is it, like 2,000 miles? 2,000 miles. That would be from West Virginia to, I'm going to say North Carolina, maybe. Okay? 75,000 miles. That's literally 73,000 miles more than that. Think about that. Criminy. That's ridiculous. What do you guys think? I mean, put it in perspective so you can grasp what we're talking about here. Okay? I mean, 75,000 miles? That's insane. And that's what he had to cover. How the hell did he do it? I mean, obviously, I know he had other people. He had to have. There's no way in hell you're going to cover 75,000 miles by yourself. But I guarantee you, he was. I feel bad for the man because that's probably why his first marriage went to hell. Because, well, she passed away, but it was probably a rough marriage because he was always gone. I mean, this is just typical shit that you run into with military and everyday police officers now at the current, their relationships, they suffer constantly because of the fact that they're always gone. Like, they don't know, like, for instance, okay, I'm going to put this in perspective as far as my concept of it is, let's just say he's a U.S. Marshal. So he's up there, right? To me, that's comparative to being like a crime scene investigator. Okay? You can get called out at 2 in the morning. You can get called out at 5 in the morning, whatever. But he's covering all that ground, 75,000 acres he was in charge of. That's ridiculous. Dude, he was a badass. Seriously, like, that ain't even no joke. That's ridiculous. But give me a second here. I'm going to pause it for a second. All right, y'all. I'm sorry for the ranting and raving, but we need to put this in perspective. So we grasp what the hell's going on and understand that, I mean, that's a lot. That's ridiculous. Okay? Now he was involved in several tragedies during his lifetime. He accidentally shot his cook, William Leach, which led to the court case, United States v. Bass Reeves, and you can look that up to verify, for which he was acquitted. His first wife, Jenny, died in 1896, and in 1902, he had to arrest his son. Holy shit. He had to arrest his son, Benny Reeves, who was charged with murdering his wife, Costella Brown. Benny was convicted and found guilty by a jury on January 22nd, 1903 in Muskogee. Oh my God, dude. Wow. That level of mess right there. Think about that. Any of you that's watching right now. If you as a lawman, would you easily be able to do that? Arrest your own son? Maybe, yeah, because of the circumstances. He murdered his wife. But we haven't gotten into the details of that. So, I mean, maybe it was, who knows? Whether it was accident or not, we don't know yet. But we'll find out. Okay? Now, the presiding judge was C.W. Raymond. Benny was sentenced to the U.S. prison at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, for his natural life. So he had a life sentence. Okay? Benny was released after 11 years in prison and lived out the rest of his life as a model citizen. Good for you. Good on you, man. Luckily that put him on the straight and narrow. A lot of people don't, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Reeves encountered some of the most ruthless outlaws of history. Of his day, not history. His weapons of choice were the Winchester models 1873 and 1892. They were guns that conveniently fit dual-purpose handgun rifle cartridges, which makes that amazing. Because if you can interchange between your pistol and your rifle, that's all the better, right? So he also briefly used the 1873 Colt single action. Hey, stink bug, get off of there. He also briefly used the 1873 Colt single action 45 caliber Peacemaker. Okay, he tracked and killed notorious outlaw Jim Webb, who had murdered over 11 people. Another notorious desperado Reeves encountered was murderer and horse thief Wiley Bear. Reeves rounded him up along with his gang, which included John Simmons and Sam Lasley. Reeves was in a gunfight with the Creek desperado Frank Buck, who he shot and killed. Reeves was immortalized in popular media, including TV shows, films, novels, poems, and books. He was also inducted into the Texas Trail of Fame. A bronze statue of Reeves was erected in Pendergraft Park in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and the Bass Reeves Memorial Bridge in Oklahoma was named after the legendary lawman. That's wild, man. This man, he has some stats. He done a lot. I look at my life, I'm thinking, damn, I ain't done shit. I don't know about you guys, but you can't compare it to that. Like this is some other level stuff, man. Now, we're going to go into his early life. We're going to talk about that. Okay, now Reeves was born an alien into slavery in Crawford County, Arkansas in 1838. He was named after his grandfather, Bass Washington. Reeves and his family were enslaved by Arkansas State Legislator William Still Reeves, which we stated earlier. When Bass was 8, in about 1846, William Reeves moved to Grayson County, Texas, near Sherman in the Peters Colony. It appears plausible that Reeves was retained as a servant by William Still Reeves' son, Colonel George R. Reeves, a Texan sheriff, legislator, and one-time Speaker of the Texas House of Representatives. When the American Civil War began, George Reeves joined the Confederate States Army, taking Bass with him. According to the Reeves family, at some time between 1861 and 1862, Bass attacked George Reeves following an argument during a poker card game. He escaped to Indian Territory, which is now Kansas and Oklahoma. Once there, he became acquainted with the Cherokee, Creek, and Seminole, learning their customs, languages, and tracking skills. The Emancipation Proclamation gave Reeves his freedom. As a freed man, Reeves returned to Arkansas and farmed near Van Buren. Okay? Now, his career. Let's just stop for a second. Okay? Let's give our thoughts on this last section that we just talked about. Yeah, my heart goes out to all those people that was enslaved, that was, and honestly, I've seen numerous things on this. Now, I didn't live at that time frame, nor did any of us that's watching this right now. So, but there's records, there's historical facts and records that's written down, it's documented about, some of these people that were slave owners were kind to people that they had as servants. And others, not so much. Now, whether or not, who knows? We can't decipher. We don't know what he went through, unless we have a personal journal of his that he wrote in to let us know, right? But obviously, from what it sounds like to me, just trying to break it down, is there was some kind of argument between a card game, and that's what it came down to. He probably felt that George Reeves cheated him at the card game and was trying to screw him around. And he got pissed. And you can't blame a man for that, right? If that it doesn't matter. Skin color, cultural, it doesn't matter. If somebody screws you over and you're playing a card game, you're trying to be decent, and somebody screws you over and you catch them, what's going to happen? It's not going to be pretty, right? So that's my take on that. Put it in the comments. What do you think? What do you think? How would you feel, right? What would you go through and how would you feel? But we're going to continue on, okay? That was just my take on that, my vent. We're going to talk about his career. Now, Reeves and his family farmed until 1875 when Isaac C. Parker was appointed federal judge for the Indian Territory. Now, Parker appointed James F. Fagan as U.S. Marshal, directing him to hire 200 deputy marshals. Fagan had heard about Reeves, who knew the territory and could speak several native languages. He recruited him as a deputy, and Reeves, at age 37, was among the finest black deputies to serve west of the Mississippi River. Let's take black out of there. He's one of the finest deputies, all right? Let's just be real about it. He's probably one of the best they had, be honest with you, okay? Now, Reeves was assigned as a deputy U.S. Marshal for the Western District of Arkansas, which had responsibility also for Indian Territory. He served there until 1893. He was transferred again, serving at the Muskogee Federal Court in the Native Territory. Reeves worked for 32 years as a federal peace officer in the Indian Territory and became one of Judge Parker's most valued deputies. Reeves brought in some of the most dangerous fugitives of the time. He was never wounded, despite having his hat and belt shot off on separate occasions. That's a bad mother right there. Wow. Whoa. That just throws me for a loop. Come on, man. You got to give it to this dude, right? Come on. He had his hat shot off in one instance and his belt shot off in another. How friggin' close? How close is that? And he was never wounded. So obviously the belt, it had to have hit the belt buckle. It had to have just knocked his hat off his head. To me, that's insane. This is freaking crazy, y'all. Like, what? Come on, man. Jeez. Oh, my God. Anyways, we're going to continue on. In addition to being a marksman with a rifle and revolver, Reeves developed superior detective skills during his long career. When he retired in 1907, Reeves had on his record thousands of arrests of felons. Some accounts claiming over 3,000, which we've already said it was like 4,000 overall. But whether that's, I don't know. I think that's, I would assume that that's accurate because this is Wikipedia we're going through, okay? Now, according to his obituary, he killed 14 outlaws to defend his life, okay? Now, whether that was earlier on in his career or up to the end, okay. If they said earlier on he shot 20, he killed 20 men, okay. Obviously, it's recorded. This is all stuff that can be, checked out, fact checked, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. Now, Reeves even had to arrest his son for murder, which we've talked about prior. Benjamin Benny Reeves was charged with the murder of his wife. Despite the perpetrator being his son, Reeves insisted on the responsibility of bringing Benny to justice. Accounts of the incident report that Benny was captured by his father or turned in himself. He was ultimately tried and convicted, serving 11 years at Fort Leavenworth in Kansas before his sentence was commuted. He reportedly lived the rest of his life as a model citizen. When Oklahoma became a state in 1907, Reeves was then 68 years old, became an officer of the Muskogee Police Department. He served for 2 years before he became ill and retired. Now, we're going to talk about his later years and his death. Okay? Reeves was once charged with murdering a posse cook. At his trial before Judge Parker, Reeves claimed to have shot the man by mistake while cleaning his gun. He was represented by former United States Attorney W.H.H. Clayton, who was a colleague and friend. Reeves was eventually believed and acquitted, possibly based on his exceptional record. Reeves's health began to fail further after retiring. He died of Bright's disease, or nephritis, on January 12, 1910. I've never heard of Bright's disease. I don't know what that entails. If anybody knows, throw it down in the comments. Let us know. Because I think I've heard of nephritis, but I don't know what the hell it is. I have no idea. I'm stupid on the subject, and I'm not ashamed to say so. I don't know it all. We learn as we go, and that's what we're doing, right? Right? So, okay. Then man, let's recap on this. This poor man had to arrest his son because of whatever the situation was and how it played out. He murdered his wife. His son did. And he had to arrest him. If that's not a loyal, law-abiding servant of the law, I don't know what the hell is. I'll be honest with you. That's insane. That's heartbreaking, really. That man, after he did that, I guarantee you, that broke his heart into a million pieces. But this man was hard as stone, man. He didn't play. He didn't play at all. So, obviously, when people heard this stuff, and they found this out, right, that he even arrested his own son, these outlaws are probably they're clenching their butt cheeks right quick. They're thinking, yeah, this dude, he's going to jack me up real quick. He ain't going to think twice. He ain't going to think about it. And that's kind of where I'm looking at it, because that in itself would put the fear of God in any felon, anybody that's doing illegal things in that area, because they know I'm coming for you. I will get you. One way or another, I'm going to get you. Now, we're going to talk about his family and descendants, okay? All right, so Reeves was married twice and had 11 children, as we said prior. Okay? Reeves, in 1864, he married Nellie Jenny, who died in 1896. And after her death, Winnie Sumter, he married. And she was, her lifespan, well, I don't know. He married her in 1900, and they was married to 1910. Excuse me. His children were named Newland, Benjamin, George, Lula, Robert, Sally, Edgar, Bass Jr., Harriet, Homer, and Alice. He was a great uncle of Paul L. Brady, who became the first black man appointed as a federal administrative law judge in 1972. His great-great-grandson is a former National Football League and Canadian Football League player, Willard Reeves. His great-great-great-grandsons are National Hockey League player Ryan Reeves and CFL player Jordan Reeves. Wow. Ryan Reeves and CFL player Jordan Reeves' grandfather, Reeves' grandfather, changed the family name from Reeves, Reeves, to Reaves. This claim has not been verified by historians and or genealogists. So we don't know if that's completely true or not, but that's the going theory on it. Okay? Now, let's talk about his legacy. Okay? In 2011, the United States 62 bridge, which spans the Arkansas River between Muskogee and Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, was renamed the Bass Reeves Memorial Bridge. That's awesome. He deserves to be remembered. He deserves to be known. In May 2012, a bronze statue of Reeves by Oklahoma sculptor Harold Holden was erected in Pendergraft Park in Fort Smith, Arkansas, which we do have a picture of that on the beginning. So when you see him on the horse and the dog and stuff and his gun in his hand, that's what we're talking about. Now, in 2013, he was inducted into the Texas Trial of Fame. Oh, that's awesome. Like, man, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's amazing. We're going to talk about television now, okay? A lot of the portrayals of Bass Reeves, what TV shows or whatever they got. Now, it says Bass is one possible inspiration for the Lone Ranger, the traveling hero of Western radio, TV, and films. Historians Art T. Burton says Bass Reeves is the closest person to resemble the Lone Ranger, citing similarities including Reeves working with the Native American partners and handed out souvenir silver dollars. That's awesome, dude. For real, like this dude he is the real life Lone Ranger. Come on, man. It doesn't get any badasser than that, man. Come on. What do you guys think? Do you think he got similarities to the Lone Ranger? Like from what we're like, I think he does. Like I really do, and I think that's what they based it off of. I'll be honest with you, my opinion. This dude was straight up badass. He was awesome, no doubts about it. Now Reeves, we're going to go into the next thing. Reeves is the subject of season 1, episode 6, titled "Bass Reeves, Trailblazing Lawman," in 2021, in the Roku series Wild West Chronicles. And you can verify that and check it out and watch it. I ain't never seen it, so let me know what you think. If you do watch it, tell me what you think. It's probably pretty awesome. I'll have to check that out myself. Now, we're going to go to the next one. Reeves is the subject of season 2, episode 4, titled The Real Lone Ranger in Gunslingers. I never heard of that. There's a lot of stuff to check out. Now, the next one is Reeves. Reeves figures prominently in an episode of How It's Made, in which a Bass Reeves limited edition collector's figurine is shown in various stages of the production process. That's pretty cool. So, like his own little, like, doll, you know what I mean? His own little toy action figure. That's cool. Good for him. Now, in the murder, and this is the next one, in the murder of Jesse James, an episode of the television series Timeless, season 1, episode 12, Reeves is portrayed by Coleman Domingo. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go into the next one. Reeves was a featured subject of the Drunk History episode Oklahoma, in which he was portrayed by Jaleel White. He was portrayed by Urkel. I don't know how well that went over, y'all, because this man don't seem like he's Urkel. I'll tell you that right now. But Jaleel White is a damn good actor. So If you guys check it out, let me know what you think. Let's see. I'm gonna I have to look into these, man. This is interesting to me. Now, and everybody knows a season 2 episode of the television series Winona Earp, Reeves is portrayed by Adrian Holmes. And the next one, Reeves is mentioned in the plot of The Royal Family, a season 2 episode of the television series Greenleaf. Reeves' name is used as an alias by Pastor Bassie Skanks to support his church with gambling earnings. Okay, now the next one is Reeves' status as one of the first black deputy U.S. Marshals plays a significant role as a childhood role model for the character of Will Reeves in the Watchmen television series. Reeves is portrayed by Jamal excuse me, Jamal Akakpo in 3 episodes featuring a fictional 1920s silent film based on Reeves' exploits titled Trust in the Law. Here's another one. Reeves is mentioned in season 3, episode 2 of the television series Justified, as 2 U.S. Marshals are discussing their all-time favorite historical marshals. No shit, that's awesome. Now, the next one is Reeves features in the stressed Western episode of Legends of Tomorrow, portrayed by David Ramsey. Ramsey is noted for having played Green Arrow's ally and confidant John Diggle in the Arrow versus since its inception. In context, Reeves is portrayed as Diggle's ancestor, where Sarah Lance called him Dig at one point, even though he thought they were digging the gunfight activities. The legends encounter him at Fist City, Oklahoma, at the time when they were pursuing the Haverach, a rage-attracted alien worm that has been excreting gold. After the Haverach was slain by Astrologue, Reeves brought Fist City back in order. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about another one. Reeves features as a character played by Gary Beadle in the 2021 TV series Around the World in 80 Days. Here's another one. A miniseries based on Art T. Burton's 2006 biography and co-produced by Morgan Freeman was reported to be under development by HBO in 2015. The concept was later acquired by Amazon Studios in 2019 and ordered to series in 2022 under the title Twin Territories. That's cool. Man, I ain't even heard of none of these. This is stuff we got to check out, y'all. Come on now. In season 3, oh my God. Are you serious? In season 34, episode 14 of The Simpsons, Carl Carlson rides again. The character Lenny states that the TV show The Lone Ranger rides again. The character Lenny states that the TV show The Lone Ranger is based on Reeves. Hey, listen, how many times have The Simpsons been right about stuff, right? They predicted a lot of shit on that channel. I don't know how they do it, but I don't know. They've been doing it. Anyways, here's the next one. This is the last one for that. A limited series based on the life of Reeves entitled Lawman, Bass Reeves, from creator Taylor Sheridan and starring David Oyelowo, began airing on Paramount on November 5th, 2023. That's a fairly new one there. You know, you guys want to check it out? If you got Paramount, go check it out. Now, we're going to talk about film. Okay? In the Die by Dawn 2013, Reeves is portrayed by Harry Lennox. Okay? We'll go to the next one. Hell on the Border is a 2019 action film based on the early law enforcement career of Reeves. starring David Gyasi. It was written and directed by Wes Miller and features Ron Perlman in a supporting role. That's pretty badass. Ron Perlman's a pretty big actor. You know, you also got Morgan Freeman on the other one. So this dude, like he's a big dude. In April 2018, Amazon Studios was reported to be developing a biopic of Reeves with the script and direction helmed by Chloe Zhao, no subsequent announcement was made about the fate of the project. Okay, so we don't know if that even came to fruition. Now, Reeves is portrayed by Delroy Lindo in The Harder They Fall in 2021. Another one we got is Reeves is portrayed by Isaiah Washington in the independent film Corsicana. Now, we're going to talk about theater. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. A theatrical production about Reeves entitled Cowboy, written and directed by Leon Gray, debuted in 2019 at the National Black Theater Festival. It opened off-Broadway in December of 2022 and is playing through December 2023 at the Actors Temple West, 47th Street in Manhattan. Now, we're going to talk about games he's featured in. This dude, he got a lot. Okay, so Reeves is a character in the miniature war game Wild West Exodus. I never heard of that. If you have, let us know. If you've checked it out, let us know. Let us know what you think. Now, Reeves is a playable character in the board game Western Legends. I've never heard of that either. In the card game Cartaventura, Oklahoma, one plays the fictional escape of Bass Reeves with 5 possible outcomes. The game also includes an insert with a summary of Bass Reeves' story. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Now, Bass Reeves appears as a guest NPC in the video game Nightingale. I've never heard of any of those. I don't know nothing about it. If you have, or if you've experienced it, or you checked it out after this video, comment, let us know what you think. All right, now we're going to talk about comic books. Comic books he's in. All right. Darko McCann and Igor Kordy, Marshall Bass, that's the name of it, I'm guessing, is Marshall Bass is the name of the comic book. There's 8 books, and it says Delcourt. I don't even know what that is, but that's how it was written. Okay, so the next one is Reeves plays a supporting role in the Lucky Luke adventure, a cowboy in high cotton. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next one. Reeves was a supporting character alongside Doc Holliday in the miniseries Atomic Robo and the Knights of the Golden Circle. And there's 5 issues of that. Now we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. In 1992, he was inducted into the Hall of Great Westerners of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Awesome. Now, in 2006, he was inducted into the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. Man, this dude, he's got so many, like, his accomplishments are, I just can't fathom it. I really can't. This dude was awesome. He's literally my hero. Now, we're going to talk about literature. Okay, Paul L. Brady, in 2005, he wrote The Black Badge, Deputy United States Marshal Bass Reeves, From Slave to Heroic Lawman. And another book we got is Arthur T. Burton, in 2006, wrote Black Gun, Silver Star, The Life and Legend of Frontier Marshal Bass Reeves. And then after that, you got Gary Paulson, in 2008, The Legend of Bass Reeves, being the true and fictional account of the most valiant marshal in the West. And we got one more. This is the last of it. We're going to close it out. Russ Brown, in 2019, his book, Miss Chisholm, a colorful 19th century Texan romance. Now, you guys got to let me know, what do you think about all that? I hope I put some of these certain aspects into perspective for you, so you actually step back, think, and regurgitate the information or digest the information. Um, this dude was straight up hardcore. He didn't play. I mean, come on, man, come on. How many people in the Wild West? I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look this up and try to see if I can figure it out. But how many lawmen in the Wild West and in the frontier days and all that shit? How many of them actually literally went on a 32-year career being a lawman, never getting wounded, not one time, not once, killed multiple people, in the line of duty, and brought in how many felons and arrested them? This dude is straight up. He is. This has got to be one of the most badass dudes that we've covered, like right now. Like, and I hate to throw shade on the others because they were every one of them's badass, right? But man, this dude right here, I don't know. This dude's my hero for real. Like, this dude's awesome. Like, you can't deny any of his. You can't deny it. This dude's, he knew numerous languages, different native languages. Shit, I couldn't even. I'm native. I'm part Native American. I don't even know the damn language. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned different ones. I've learned Russian, German. I've learned Gaelic a little bit. I'm not fluent in all this shit, but for you to be fluent in multiple languages, dude, you're like straight up. You're on point. You know what I mean? But not only did he have the different languages, this dude had tracking skills from the natives. So this dude was top tier tracker. He didn't play. He knew how to get what he wanted to get. If he was on a target, he's going to get him one way or another. And then you got to figure, okay, he did things the right way. He did it. He was a law-abiding citizen, and he did it. He was a valiant person, man. He had honor. This is something that's, you don't see it in that kind of a way anymore. I mean, if you do, it's definitely not on this scale. And if you disagree, tell me. Let me know. I mean, now this is just going without saying that we're not talking about. This is different because this is like this. What do you call it? Domestic, county, state type law enforcement. Okay, but he was a U.S. Marshal and he was federal. Okay, up to a certain point, and then Oklahoma became a state. When it became a state, then he became a deputy in Muskogee Police Department, right? I don't know what the hell happened there. I didn't get any information from that. So I don't know. If you have any of it, let me know. If you find out anything or dig it up, let me know. Because I'm kind of interested. Like, this dude's intriguing. Like, he's straight up. He's hardcore. And I don't see. I just can't believe that I've never really heard of this man. Hardly at all. And it's sad that that it hasn't been brought to fruition. Like, obviously, yeah, you see that these movies and stuff, like, okay, stories, movies and shit like that. They was in, what the hell did they say? It was what the hell did I do? Oh, these are okay. I'm grabbing the wrong damn notes. Sorry, you guys. I'm an idiot. Anyhow, but no, if you look at it, like, okay, a lot of the literature, the first book that I see that's listed on here is 2005, right? They didn't write a. He didn't. I could be wrong, okay, but what, and this is my opinion, okay, from what I'm getting as far as the information, and this is through Wikipedia. This is all fact check stuff, whatever. They're saying 2005 is the first book that was written about him. How in the hell did you wait until 2005 to write about this dude? Seriously, this is what grabs my goat. Okay, pardon the pun, but it is what it is. You know, like, I mean, of course, comic books didn't come until, like, I don't even remember when they first originated. I think it was after the Depression, maybe the 40s or 50s. I think is when they kind of started to kind of taper into the thing, you know. And then they didn't put him in the Hall of Fame until 1992 for the one place, and the other one was 2006. Come on, man. But you know, hey, they put him in there though. They got him in there. Maybe it's because a lot of people didn't hear of him, and it's sad. It's really sad, you know, that people didn't hear about this guy. Like, he's really amazing. This dude was featured in 4 video games, right? And then you got films, just movies alone. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 movies, and then you got theater as far as like Broadway or whatever the hell theatrical stuff. You got one of those. He only got one. Yeah, there's only one of them, at least that I know of, that's on the notes. But I mean, it's just crazy, y'all. And I still got to come back to that. 75,000 acres was his territory he had to cover when he was a U.S. Marshal. Get the hell out of here. Get out of my face with that. Come on. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you guys tell me your thoughts about it. Tell me what you think. All right. I hope you loved this episode, because honest to God, this really hit me. This kicked me right in the face. It really did. Because I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? I never do on these episodes. I might go through and I write my notes out first, and then I go ahead and I do my video and stuff like that. So I've seen some of the stuff, but it's not registering because I'm literally trying to transcribe and do what I need to do to get my notes down so I can relay the message properly to you. So I'm focused on that. I'm not literally focused on the story when I first do the notes. So maybe that gives you a perspective and lets you understand why I'm kind of surprised with some of this stuff when I start reading the stuff. Because I'm technically literally finding out when you are this information. Okay? And I'm just being real about it. But, you know, thank you guys for supporting and loving the Trading Post. Thank you for supporting Noodle, for supporting me, Brooklyn Bob, Bigfoot, and all of us. You know, hey, we really appreciate it. Okay? And honestly, this is what this is about. If you have your own stories, if you have your own information, if you have anything like that you want to trade and you want to put in here, that's why it's the Trading Post. Okay? If you don't feel like commenting, you can email us at thetradingpost8124@gmail.com. Okay? Feel free to do so. And as we always say on this channel, live, laugh, and love. Because tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Make your days count. You have a good one. Bye.